gentlemen, welcome back. It is our time to finally push in the Mythic. I found myself at Diamond 1, and there's a deck that I've been playing that I've been running back over and over again and playing different variations of it. And it is this kind of raise to pass combo deck that oftentimes I think its main issue is kind of losing to itself sometimes. Whenever you're like, oh, I need a land, don't find it, okay, red killed me. Oh, I need to raise the pass, okay, red killed me. There's a common trend there, by the way. Aggro, very fast, very bad. But with that said, we are playing the raise pass combo. If you don't know what it is, basically return all creature cards with mana value 2 or less from our graveyard to the battlefield for 4 mana. Every creature we have in our deck fits that description. So basically, any creature that hits the graveyard is live to come back with raise to pass. Outside of that, we have made a couple of changes to the deck where we are playing 4 Wails and only 2 Tale of Tamiyos. This card is strong. I like it a lot. I thought 4 was just too many to have in the deck where I was drawing it instead of kind of getting other cards. Or the issue is with this card, actually, that whenever we mill 2 cards, the cards are the same type, we're able to then do it again, but we draw a card before that. Having 4 copies of Tale of Tamiyo just upped the chances of not actually hitting it, because then we would randomly hit this enchantment in a creature, or we'd hit a whale in a creature, and then like a sorcery and not whatever. So with that said, I play 2 of these now. Other than that, the main win condition is using the Starscape Cleric with life gainers. So anything that enters the battlefield and gains life, we're trimmed down a bit on those. We're only playing like 7. Realistically going to mill 1 into the graveyard most of the time, so it's not that big of a deal. But this says basically whenever we gain 1 life, each opponent loses 1 life. This says whenever a creature enters, we gain 1 life, and it makes it all different instances. So when raise to pass brings back 10 creatures, that we have 1 life gainer on that battlefield at that point, it would trigger 9 separate times, which will then drain for 9 total life if just one of these is a part of that pile. But then it gets exponentially more, right? So if there's 2 hinterlands, now it's 18. And then this drains for 18. If there's 2 of these, well, then that becomes 32. So it just it gets really, really high very, very fast and goes pretty crazy. And it oftentimes, whenever you cast raise to pass, even if you have to do it early, is kind of a value one where you kind of do it even though it's not necessarily going to kill your opponent or win you the game in any way. You do it because you will have enough of these or like other things that trigger off Gorehound that you'll typically either find another raise to pass and set up for a second one to guarantee the lethal next turn, and then you'll block accordingly to get as many creatures as you can back into your graveyard to do the raise to pass again. Or against like red, sometimes just gaining 12 life is enough with kind of just like life gainers in there. So outside of that, we're gonna go ahead and hop into the games. If y'all enjoy the content, maybe consider subscribing. I know it's December 25th. Well, for me it's 26th. It's 4 in the morning for me. But I hope everybody had a wonderful holiday regardless, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Outside of that, maybe you didn't celebrate, you know, it happens. Hope you had a wonderful day regardless. So with that said, let's go ahead and dive into the games, see how they go, and let's go see if we can't hit Mythic. Definitely just a weird one to always have to kind of play. Well, we can play this cave, obviously play the Gorehound, and then I'll probably go for this instead of the 1-drop. Play Gorehound straight up, get ready to go. We'll put in our handy dandy Death Toucher against the red deck. Sure. No blocks. I changed my mind. Land on top. Well, kind of wish it wasn't just a land on top. Because, like, I would have loved to put a creature in the yard, then find a land, but I'm not going to complain about the land too much. Obviously, that's what we want. But Freebooter can then die here. As long as a monster trade doesn't come in, we find really good value off that. We'll see, though. Obviously, monster trade changes a lot of things. But the Sadistic Pilgrim can also come in as well. You just pass. Okay. Interesting. I was not ready for a pass. But here comes Pilgrim. Maybe a little confused on what's up. We got oddball creatures all over the place. Am I going to be mad about the 4th land? Probably if I keep drawing lands, but like, I don't think I could be upset about it. Although we probably could have pitched it because of the fact that when this dies, we do make a treasure. Most likely it's dying. The first chance we get to throw it under a creature. And the Raise to Pass doesn't do much if we don't do anything, right? But this will attack. A small chip, if you would, in the armor for our opponent. Wail the Forgotten. Getting a little worse right now because we haven't done a lot of milling with the Gorehounds. What we got, opponent? Also, look at, respect the opponent. They're all in on red. They got Play with Fire sleeves. They got Gyra. They got the horse. They don't even attack with that. That's not right. I don't believe that. Here. I just have to look. Sure, dude. I'm not going to show them the damage guy, I think. I think I'm just going to play another Gorehound. Every card just wants to stay on top of my light. You just can't. I just can't waste. I can't waste forever. Like, I don't know. But now they can deal damage to their own nemesis. They haven't cast a single spell. I don't... Other than what's in play. So, even if we would have bounced it, they hit the 4th land, so that play didn't matter. Thankfully. There's a higher claw. They do play Burst Lightning, so they always do have a way to technically deal damage to the nemesis. I mean, I have to play this, I think. If I can't win this way, I'll just have to go so incredibly wide that we just can chip them out. Uh-huh. Yeah, and this was my fear of casting the Starscape. Is now they're just going to hit the Screaming Nemesis, and now it'll do nothing. Well, I guess I would kill their creature, so, like, sure. Uh-huh. I guess I have Pilgrim. If my creatures die, I can outvalue them that way. They prioritize the smaller creature, obviously, because the fact that the one creature we have is legendary. Now, they could have just killed the Cleric, and then they would take no damage. These are all going, because our Picklock Prankster is there to mill them over anyway. What do we got, opponent? I am not attacking. Although I think right now the way our opponent would play, if our creature, if they blocked with the Nemesis, I feel like they would shoot another creature. 5 mana. Oh, they finally attack. Okay. Sure. With Soccer Frenzy, maybe? Like this, maybe? Do I want to mill before scrying? I don't know. I think so, right? Yeah, I think you want to mill before you scry. Not entirely sure. Okay. Fair. Get hit for quite a chunk. They can also buff the higher claw to do an additional damage here. By spending 2 mana, because they've already done the damage. Sure. Interesting time to do that. Sure. We're still in combat or whatever, but I'm responding to my own trigger because that's what I want. Okay. We're only incredibly nervous right now. We're only like on the verge of losing. Oh boy. Here we go. Boom. Now again, if they kill the cleric, they could stop this. One. Will they respond? Do they have a response? They understand they have lethal in play. Yes. I don't blame them. Lightning Strike's always weird because Lightning Strike's that one card that you're like, I don't necessarily want to do it because it kills my nemesis and then I'm weak on the board. But it's also like, I don't win. Like, I don't go to 26. Probably gonna go ahead, play this, maybe this. Life gonna be important, it seems, that red has come out of the woodwork for me today. And then we're going to play Cleric, then we're going to play Gorehound into the Archaeologist, and then we're going to look for that raised pass and hope to mill over a lot of good valuable cards. Maybe a Shelter by Ghost comes in. I don't know. I understand maybe not letting me gain life. That would make a lot of sense. Or just that. Okay. Yeah, I'm good. Well, there's a raise to pass, so now it is just full guns blazing now, right? Do I want to put a bigger creature in play? Maybe not. I think I just want to play this. Do a little bit of drain and gain. And just hold the 1/2 back. Now we don't care to block. Like, blocking's fine now. Although, keeping it one more turn does gain us 2 more life. That is something to consider. I think our... Ooh. They give double strike, it blocks. Yeah, I mean, you just have to block. The 2 life you gain us is not worth the 6 life to take to the dome. Especially when we have a raise to pass ready to go, right? We're just gonna have to survive, I guess. Only 1 creature goes in, and there's another land. It's just not good enough. I think we're just gonna end up losing. It's just these games where you just hit a ton of lands early like this. There's 3 in there. We have 5 in hand, so 5, 6, 7, 8 already out of our deck. And we've hit 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we have more lands than creatures or spells in general. It's just a thing we cannot pretty much come back from most times. Another target here, a block here. Raise the path. Worth it then? Maybe? Like, I mean, by worth it, it's like a play we have to make. We just have to kind of dodge a way for them to give the hero flying or trample. So we just lose to that pretty much. But, okay. That's 4. I mean, it's gotta be double strike, right? They go with trample. Interesting. Weird. Weird play. I'm probably having to raise the past here. So I guess it's this. Feels like it has to be raised to past, and we just kind of have to hope to hit another one. All right, well, if we do hit another one, we have good ambitions here for sure. All right, well, we hit it exactly the last card we could, the way we want to, and there's another drainer. There's 2 more life gainers in there. So, and 2 of their lands can only be used to cast creatures. One of the things about the rock-faced villages, there's a nemesis that went straight to combat too, right? I didn't miss that, right? I mean, nemesis is gonna hit us. I'm not blocking it. We really hope for double strike here, so I can throw as much stuff in front of them as I can. That's what they go for. Sure. Figure it out. Obviously, we're playing around Monstrous Rage. We're playing around, please put as many cards into my graveyard as you can. They can obviously do it in a weird way where they put like 5 damage on one creature and then 5 damage on another creature so they don't kill more than they need to. I don't know if they know that. Because you can over-assign lethal now. That's like the way the new combat rule works. But they ensure that they kill everything. Here. Everything's resolving. So our opponent is dead, I believe. Okay. Well, we're getting out of that game. I really thought we were just going to lose. Like, the trample play was weird, but I understand getting the extra damage in. And then the nemesis, a get lost in the deck is also weird. I don't know. I've just felt like a weird build of the deck that's like proven to do really well with some other cards. Maybe I'm behind on my Boros gameplay, but a get lost seemed weird. I guess it blows up a temporary lockdown. I don't know. Yes. This hand is sick. We like this hand a lot. Good dog. We play Archaeologist. We get a lot of stuff in that graveyard. Massacre Girl? Very cool. We put the Archaeologist on the stack. They show a red land. Apparently I'm only against red decks tonight. I don't know. You can shock my Gorehound if you'd like. Alright. Other than a torch, because then torch would have told us it was Boros, which would not have been great. But I have a 1/4 now, so that's pretty cool. We get to cast a Wail potentially. Honestly, I'm probably just milling again, but we'll see. Another Veil, our village, Rockface Village. Why did I think that was Veil? I don't know. I feel like a little part of me wants to bounce this, right? Because then it's like I kind of set them back a turn. Okay. Or I draw a Gorehound and everything changes and I don't want to do anything. They can give it first strike so the Death Toucher doesn't necessarily matter. And I have a life gainer in the graveyard. 1, 2, 3, and 4. I guess I just take it, right? Picklock Prankster can go. We want to find the land and we hold. Most likely a creature will die here, so these whales will be good again. Taking the whale is actually like kind of bad because we could have had 8 for... Oh no, it's 8 permanent, so another whale in the graveyard doesn't do anything. Actually. Yeah, sure. And that's there. Okay. Double strike. Let's throw this in front. Yeah, so holding the whale in there didn't change anything. I forgot that this was just 8 permanent cards, not 8 cards in general. Which our deck is outside of whale and, you know, the other card is pretty much that entirely. Return target creature or permanent to its owner's hand. This and this. I mean, I can do this because this is like the most threatening creature, right? Even though it's the cheapest one, it definitely is the most threatening. We're looking for one of two cards. One of them being a land and one of them obviously being Raise the Past. A land into another Wail would be best. And that's what we get. Sweet. Because now we can play this. Cast this Wail. And then we can bounce. I know this has haste, but I mean, I guess I could throw everything in front of one creature, but then this takes like a lot of their turn away, right? Kind of ensures that we can't really be hit with like a lethal strike. All right, we're 20 cards deep. We're hoping to find the Raise the Past eventually here. We miss again. I guess we just take an untapped source in case we draw another 2-drop here. We hold. We're 23 cards deep. There's no raise. I mean, this is definitely one of the situations. As soon as we draw a raise, the game is over now. But obviously, we have to hit that. Huh. Okay. One block. An interesting double attack, but I guess a Monstrous Rage opens up a ton. Yeah, so now we take 8, 9. My, how the night changes. Oh my, how it apparently never mattered. It's just crazy sometimes, like, where you're set up so well that, like, a Raise the Past just makes everything go away. To an extent, I guess. Do we only have one life gainer? I guess so. Yeah, well, I mean, we're not out of the woods. They might just concede because they have to let all these resolve, but... Oh, I have 2 of those. It shouldn't be enough. Yeah. It's close, but it's not enough. Yeah, just keep bending. There's 16 of these. I mean... I have 22 cards left. I don't care. Just can stay on top. Play this. Here. 1. You were at 1. I have a lot of life. And I'm not afraid to use it. All this toughness is just basically life points at this point. I will throw 37 creatures in front of that thing. There's no shot. I was saying, that thing is going to have to get so huge, dude. Land Gorehound. They mauled it. It was a tough 6, so their hand was probably pretty good. They just had to decide what card to put back. Okay. Gorehound, look. Mill. Another one in. We have our other white source. We're looking for... I just get the land out of the way. Yeah, I think I just keep the land. I think I just get the lands out of the way and just call it a day, right? Mono white. We might have to look into... Ooh, mono white life gain. Honestly, thankfully, we are getting the lands out of the way. Johnny's going to get huge. Let's play this. Let's go into here. And now we obviously are just all out until we find the card of choice. Maybe could have left that on top. One of the weird cards that sometimes you can leave on top because you get to mill more than what you're looking at. So there's that. No life to be gained yet. Life to be gained and all the nonsense to start happening. Okay. That is 3. They do not attack me, however. We draw a really good card to go into this. a Death Toucher. They do play Shelter by Ghost, I believe, though, so we do have to be careful of that. Can't block regardless, so might as well attack with it. We only have 3 creatures in that graveyard, and we do have a Drainer in play, but if that goes under a Shelter by Ghost, obviously we're not too happy about that. If 4 of our creatures happen to die this turn, though, that'd probably be such a bad play. Our Wail's only really bad if we just look at 3 lands. Just the Sheltered. No, it's a Nightmare of Eos. Okay. Interesting. Super loading up here. You don't mean that. You do not mean that. There's no way you mean that. Okay, team. Well, I don't know if you know this, but we need to find it over Dad. Look at the top 3. We find a Prankster. Prankster's actually technically worse somehow. Okay. We hold. I am paging once again. If we draw the raise to past. So why this is technically like slightly worse. Okay. Are we into the attacking business now? I'm cool with you waiting. Don't do math. No. Take it back. You don't want to attack. I think not attacking here is actually insane. Okay. Glad we resolved that problem. These counters move, so I don't really want to do that. This could get so much worse next turn, so I want to hold the blocker, I guess. Ah. Sure. So we can technically hit it with this. Hold on. We want to do this the opposite way. We want the Gorehound to resolve first, which typically we don't. Okay. Sweet. We get there. But the reason we want the Gorehound to happen first is so we dig maximally. Oh, okay. Now you can auto now. We just want Gorehound to happen first so we can get that card out of the way, because it doesn't help us at all. Like, Gorehound doesn't help us all if we look at the raise to pass the next turn. So we have to play like next turn, right? Hold on, let me think. Too much is going on. So if we do Gorehound first and it's not a raise to pass, we're milling it anyway, right? We want the Archaeologist to hit a mill to pass. If we have Archaeologist resolve first and it mills over 3 cards and then our Gorehound looks and it's a raise to pass, we're going to be way more upset. So we want the Gorehound to actually go first. Normally you want it the opposite way so you can control what you draw, right? Because Gorehound, we leave it on top if we surveil and we want it to, like if we want the card, and then it'll mill it over. So we don't want that to happen. So we typically resolve this first and then the Gorehound. But yeah, that is one of the few scenarios, like, make sure you turn the auto thing off, resolve this first, and then do the Archaeologist. No blue mana, but we have a Hound here, which is good. Into a Cleric, which is, like, maybe not the best. I just closed my thing. I think I did. Yeah, so I can play the Hound. I can maybe play this Cleric. Hopefully the Hound doesn't die. Well, the Cleric's not dead, but like... With Raise to Pass in hand, I think I... Relax. I think I have to cycle this. Sure. I will trade this, by the way. If that's an offer they're willing to give me, I will 100,000% do it. One creature, and we grab the Wail. Deal. I can play. Now we're in a weird spot where it's like, do I just cast a Wail and bounce this and tell them to like take another turn playing it, or do I just play like this Prankster and then maybe Wail them next turn in Cleric? I kind of like that plan. Not the best plan of all time, but it's a plan. And who knows? Maybe I double block and Raise the Pass, gain a little bit of life, put a lot more things around the table. The Spear comes in, sure. Double strike, so Monster Raise most likely a thing. Looks like Raise the Pass is gonna have to be something I find here. Gamp's just gonna have to be let through. I know Monster Raise is most likely one of the cards. Yeah. I kind of assumed this is how this combat was going to happen. But thankfully it did. Always love when the combat happens the way you want it to. Another land. Well, I guess by proxy is going to have to be a Raise to Pass. Gain a little life. Throw a little bit of cards around. Alright, we get to Raise to Pass immediately. It got hit with a couple of lands there, so that's not the best. More lands. Card I don't need. But now we have, yeah, I mean, just way too many lands hit with that. We're looking at 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah. There's a lot of lands comparatively. Sure. It's got flying and comes with trample, which is not great, which means we're probably going to have to bounce it because they went white down. So unless barring something else, if it's only this attack, it typically means their hand is not the best. Damage just goes right through. All right, stop with the lands, please. Like, I don't think I'm being unreasonable for asking lands to stop being drawn. Like, please just stop. Oh, well, at least we get a permanent card. I don't know. Play this tap one. Do these 3 modes, and let's look at 3 lands. Why not? Tell them to me. I want 3 lands in this pile. 'Cause what else would it be? Alright. Well, because of how the game is, I can grab his Picklock Prankster. I can hopefully hold the line at 12. It's definitely a risky number. But they haven't, like, done anything. I guess they've also hit a lot of lands, too. It is just like, man, I feel like I'm hitting a ton. The Offspring here, now that doesn't really do too much for them. Would obviously love for some of my creatures to have died this combat, but it's just not likely to be the case. I have 2 drainers. Oh, no. Well, here's the thing. Is it actually better if I mill or if I just play the Sanctifier and then bring it back, right? Probably just better to do that, I think. We have 1, 2, 3. We have 3 creatures in our graveyard. That's something else, dude. Alright, I mean, play this. Sure. It's a good card on top. There's tap land. I guess I'm probably gonna mill it over, maybe. Drain for 3. Is it enough? I don't know. No, I don't think so. Or it is? It's so confusing because the trigger goes away. Okay, it was exactly. I don't know, man. I felt like I hit a lot of lands. I felt like maybe I was complaining too much, but I don't know. So it's a weird case, because like then the red players just didn't do anything either. We go first. Our entire hand is white and blue. So I guess we keep. Because we have white and blue. Don't necessarily. You just play one side of our deck, I guess. Now, obviously, we hope we hit the land. 3 lands would be good because Tale of Tamiyo can come online. Avatar? Okay. I guess just play this. Might as well just gain 1, and if this misses, I can at least do like 2 damage a turn. That. Did mill over 2 of our lands though, which is not great. Maybe we'll channel what happened last game. Or I'm gonna find myself complaining for the opposite, dude. Like, here we go. I'm sorry, Arita. Oh man. It is just kind of crazy that this deck's like biggest downfall is like getting the 4th land and then just like never wanting to see another. But also like you kind of prefer to draw them and just mill over the other ones kind of. Well, there went 3 lands. So yeah, I think we're going to get screwed by just every time we put a mill effect on the stack. I think we're going to mill over lands, and then we're just going to draw non-lands. Yeah, I mean that's just Arena was going to give us what we wanted. We just needed to not mill them. That's the hard part about our decks. Like we kind of need to mill them. We kind of need to do that as our win condition. But that is like right there is a great example of where Tale of Tamiyo would have been great. I mean, land, draw, land. Who knows what the next card would be? Maybe it's a land. Probably not. Yeah. Well, we're in, I guess. All we really got to do. I passed. I'm just missing land drops now. Yeah. Now to do this Picklock Prankster, I mill over 3 lands and 1 non-land when the chances of hitting lands aren't technically that high because we've already milled over too many. Oh no, not Sunfall, please, no. Anything but Sunfall. The thing is, like, I have to do this. Like, there's just no choice about it. Alright, 3 cards and 1 land, and the next draw wasn't a land, so we're fine. And there's that. Okay. Tale of Tamiyo, this game is entirely reliant on you, pretty much. We're going to see what you can hit. We can see if you can do it well. We do have a raise the path. Against this matchup, it's pretty free to do so. This is going to be a weird one. Trigger. Alright, we miss. Okay. I could play this, and I could play a Picklock Prankster, I guess. Like, throw some stuff out there. To block a 6/5 for a turn. And obviously, if my Freebooter dies, then raise the past is possible. But most likely, are you going to use a Binding or a Get Lost here? I wouldn't imagine a Binding gets used. Good luck, brother. I don't know what to tell you to do with those cards. Outrageous Robbery is insane, but sure. I should have double blocked, honestly. That's gonna be drawn, I guess. Sure. I don't know. Sure. Is that a hard cast? It is a hard cast. I have multiple clerics in here. No, I only have 1. That is another problem. Sure. That's fine. I don't know what we'll hit. Alright, 2 lands. Draw a card. Nice. Alright. Well, a second raise to pass tells us that we're probably pretty fine. Exile any number of instant sorcery cards, we can cast them again. Only one storm just makes it so stressful. But we could just lose if we're not careful. And they have one everywhere land. And they haven't played a binding yet, so it does seem like super likely that that's the case. I'm going to go with a little bit more mill here, which I'm not like super stoked on. Or like not even... Yeah, I think it's just mill. I think that's all I want to do here. Now, obviously, there's a chance that they just have every copy for me. But maybe they'll fire a binding off. A cut down, okay. I was not ready for cut down to be the holding kind of priority card. They are on a different variation. They're not just like the typical kind of run it down. That's 12. That's a lot of damage. I don't know what the count is. Or everywhere lands. Huh? Sure. Down 8. You have a turn. We have this turn specifically. A little bit more. I'd be a little bit more comfortable with just the one, but obviously if we do this and we gain a ton of life, then like sure. We kind of miss. Guess I'll take the Wail. We do find a land and cast a one from exile. Maybe they just play a counter spell and I'm just about to get super blown up. They haven't played a single blue. They're just an Abzan. They're just trying to figure out what's going on. I don't know. You could play a flanker and exile my graveyard in response. That'd be pretty sick. Be pretty disgusting, to be honest. Got some raised pass. I don't know what's all in there. They might outrageous robber me. That. They might do that to me. I'm definitely looking to mill out this turn. Sure. How much can they do a robbery for? Enough. So whatever these dogs see, they just have to stay on top. And these Sanctifier triggers with the Cleric has to be over 12. Or they just answer it. Yeah, here's the answer. I don't even know what that says. Was that a real card that they just played? Spell cost 3 less. I guess, brother. I don't know. Done. We have to actually spam through all this. I'm curious if they don't just have them holding them with the outrageous robbery right now. Sure. Land. Go. Oh, also if I just get Sunfalled here. Ugh. I have like no life gainer in there. That's disgusting. I'll make it, dude. Sure. They also have to Sunfall before combat. Because if they go to combat and Sunfall, they actually won't get anything out of this. Because of the way that, you know, this will end up resolving. Here and then here, I guess. I don't know. I guess I gotta throw in more of these under that one, huh? Let's say auto do. Sure. I have 10 guards. I think they can robbery me out of the game, but I don't know. Yes. Will they? I'm not sure. You have this card. Or do you have another removal spell for The dude guy. No? Okay. Sick. I guess. Sure. I don't know. I guess we play one more. See if we hit Mythic or not. Tale of Tamiyo. We're going to see how good you are. I keep saying that, but like, you tell in the line, you know? Sometimes good. Sometimes awful. Sometimes I can't make up whether I love it or hate it. We do need the 4th land, so we'll just take the 4th land, especially considering it is a 2nd white source. This also could be a deep cavern bat, and this Tale of Tamiyo is going to have to do a ton of work. Or it could just be a counter spell, who knows? Or do I just establish like 2 creatures and play Tale of Tamiyo after? Against my blue-black opponent. Not opposed to that idea. Yeah, sure. Tale of Tamiyo has plenty of time to cook after this turn. Put this down, put this down. Arguably could have put this down, because obviously they might want to remove it, but obviously they might want to remove this, because, you know, Death Touch. I'm going to let that go, because I think my next turn is to cast this card. I don't want to hold this card, because we do have Raise to Past. Not Fairy Mastermind. Who would ever play that card? Alright, let's see it. I went into Mythic. Of course, we got to go down the Dimir road. Honestly, I'm gonna keep it a bug. I kind of just want to play both these clerics. I bet. Okay. I guess. This one? We'll let that go. I'm not entirely sold on that decision to let that card go, but I'm kind of sold enough, obviously. We'll let it go. Now we have some stuff. Got some things happening. We got a single life gainer. We have 4 creatures in our graveyard, so Raise to Pass is actually going to do a ton of damage if we get to do it. Also, considering the clerics can then also hit for 4, so that's kind of cool too. But we'll see what happens here. Alright, mana down. So no like crazy card. The combat hits. There was no Planeswalker. Cut down? Sure. I would like to move the combat opponent. This is the reason we go to combat first, team. I'll attack with both. This has Menace, so it doesn't really matter. Then we'll cast Raise to Past. I'll bring stuff back to gain some life. Who would have thought? I love gaining life. Not gonna necessarily get the job done because we only had 1 life gainer in there, but you know, gotta do what you gotta do sometimes. Now we snarl this stuff away. And I say we might have kept a more flexible card there. I thought about the Archaeologist, but with 2 more looks, it'd have been the same thing. They say nice, but I don't know what that means. Good game. Okay. Sweet. I didn't know if that meant like, oh, nice. Land Gix command. I'm like, oh, okay. But sweet. We hit Mythic. We're probably, what, like 97 percentile or something because we hit it so late in the season. But yeah, I mean, finally I hit it with this deck. The deck that I've been pretty advocate about that's really good. It just kind of has like, it typically only loses to itself. But we'll go right in the outro and I guess talk about it a bit. Also, by the way, it is 3:42 in the morning. I have not been able to sleep, so that's why this is recording so late. I like did one of those things where, you know, you eat holiday dinner and then you fall asleep at like the wrong time, and I wasn't feeling that great, and I woke up and I like didn't know what day it was. So yeah, it's really late. I haven't been able to sleep, so I was a little grumpy. But with that, yeah, this deck is just super sick. I trimmed down on the Tale of Tamiyo. I think his card's really cool. I just think having like 4 in the deck to potentially draw more than 2 copies is tough. We're going to see a lot of cards that might get put in our hand somehow. And in the opener, like, I'm okay with having it in the opener every now and then. I just don't necessarily like want it every single time in my opener because I'd rather have other effects that mill earlier and we try to get to the Raise the Past. Card I think I just like I will not play this deck without right now is this card. This card has bought me so many games and it's just like when I need a land, like a lot of my problems stems from not having this card. I played a different variation and I recorded for an hour and it just did not go well. I kept like getting in the weird thing where I kept milling my lands or like doing the opposite where I was like, I just milled all my Raise to Pass. I didn't really get to find it. And this card, just being able to be like, I need a land more than I need cards in my graveyard. Let me cast this one and look at the top 3. Also, I can bounce their thing. Also, I can make them discard. Like, it's such a good value card when it comes to that kind of nonsense that you get to do. And especially the fun parts where you get to, like, bounce a token. And they don't actually get a card back, so you actually hit a card in their hand, which is super fun. But other than that, it's kind of just the Raise to Pass list, you know? We got a lot of 1-drops. We got a lot of 2-drops that mill. And we have kind of Wail and then the Tale of Tamiyo. The trims for this became like an extra copy of this, and I loaded up on this. I cut the Suffer Mage just because I just never felt great about milling myself blind with that whenever I have like these effects that do it, but also grab my Raise to Past. You know what I mean? Like these all mill me, but I can grab this. This can kind of put cards in my graveyard, but I can grab this. This puts this in the graveyard, but unlike the 2-mana version that we could play in this spot, the Third Path, this can like do it way later when it's more relevant for us to actually have the mana to do it. So I kind of like that a bit more. So other than that, I hope you all enjoyed. I hope everybody had a wonderful holiday. Merry Christmas, Hanukkah starting, you know, all the good stuff. And whatever holiday you celebrate, or even if you didn't celebrate, I just hope you had a wonderful day. So that said, I hope you all have a good night or good morning, good afternoon, wherever you're watching from. I'll catch you in the next one. Thanks for watching and goodbye.